going to do on your Sorcha is I'm just going to start straight away without any warning. So
Right, going in for
brace and think about it. I'm thinking 21 years in Greystones. That's got to be something close to a record. I know you are kind of like the new Mrs. Mooney. Is there?
Oh, the new Mrs. Mooney, brilliant! Oh my God, I'm absolutely flattered.
Do you think there is such a thing as you know, I don't know if you call it a secret. Like, is there, you know, to you know, a town that's fairly well populated, but it's hard to, you know, do an independent shop in a town, any town in Ireland. But do you think there was something that you kind of think, well, that's probably why we're still here, or
21 years, I actually can't believe I'm 21 years anyway. Yeah.
And you're only 24, so I'm just.
I know, so actually it doesn't really add up. Sure, it doesn't.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. You were 3 years old when you started. I think there was a lot of kind of sympathy. People.
Yeah, I think so.
The
Yeah.
little kid has opened a shop down the road. Let's go in there.
Somebody's supporter. Brilliant.
Actually,
Actually, when the first time as well, and that was a term I'd never heard of as well before, was they'd come down. People come down to hansel me. Did you ever hear that before? Hansel you. Yeah.
Hansel and Gretel, like, is it?
I don't know which one it came. Well, Hansel was somebody who would come down to, you know, do their first purchase, which is like wish you luck and send you on your way. Or
okay.
yeah. So
I've never heard that.
Yeah,
no, that's kind of cool. I'll just check it out.
Nice one.
It might be a swingers reference or something. I'll have to check it out. I have no idea. Hansel.
I'm gonna leave you with that thought now.
It sounds very, very dodgy. but that idea.
Now you have me questioning myself.
But that idea of the 21 years, do you think it's obviously you would have maybe, you know, you recognise what people wanted and kept giving them what they wanted was a big part of any business. But do you think there was something in particular that this shop sort of, you know, has done so well that has connected?
Well, part of the fact that I still love it, actually, over 21. I do love it, but it's not that. I think it's people, isn't it? Like, because the people who maybe I work with here, who have worked alongside me in the shop floor, to suppliers, the people who I've worked with, you know, from that end of it as well, and they would have, you know, we've done recessions and all sorts at this stage, so you know we've worked with in that sense as well, and then customers. Sure, you're not here without your customers. True. And they would have taught us a lot in the sense of what they were looking for, or what gaps, you know, needed filling, or, you know, maybe when it was time to say goodbye to certain ranges and look for something new, and you know, that kind of thing maybe too. But
can you recall the opening, like how you had you know, in your mind a particular plan, or whether you had the sense of, you know, your blind faith that this I'm just going to do this and see if it works? Or
I did actually kind of fall into it in many ways. I'm a blow-in in the sense that I'm originally from Dublin.
Okay, I got to go now. Sorry.
Yeah, it's over now, is it? Yeah. And I'll always be that blow-in. And yeah, so for like summer holidays, school holidays, Christmas holidays, when I was in school, my job was going into Brown Thomas. And that was my weekend work. So that's started there. Which sounds very posh, but I was like in the back end of things when I was, you know, when you're that young. But
in
anyway,
the engine room, you can often tell how something works.
Yeah. So that was there, and then from there, then I went on to another Irish company, Michael H, which unfortunately is no longer in existence, and they had, I think, 5 shops at the time. And you know, when you're young, you think, sure, I can do that for myself. Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
Would I do it again now that, you know, there's kids and, you know what I mean, there's so many others, but I had no responsibility at that stage. Right. So
well,
why not?
I'm thinking, like me now, you're incredibly good looking, so was there a sense of the fashion and you know, working this area was something that you'd always been drawn to? Did you ever consider other areas? Was this, I don't know, when you realised, oh, this is what I do, this is my
no, I loved it from the get-go. And even though maybe what I was selling at the time might necessarily have been what, you know, all the ranges wouldn't have been what my style or what I would have gone for. But then you're dressing people in that, and for certain occasions, the relationships develop, and, you know, their life stories. You're inside in the change room with people. Do you know, you see everything and you hear everything. And everybody's life story is different, and and that's what makes it. It is amazing. That sounds maybe a little bit, does it?
Oh,
to me that it's, but it actually.
But I think that organic thing of you know, it's not like you could sit down and write out a definite plan of how everything is going to work out. If you're alert and you're sort of aware of what people say and do and feel, you know, you just organically grow. You find yourself, I'm sure, recognizing, you know, what works and what people like and what works for you. And
then I learned a lot along the way, a lot. So, much and honest, I thought I was invincible at the age I was, and clearly I wasn't. But yeah.
And would you have dared guess, or that you would, you know, have a business that's lasted now 21 years and hopefully a lot more? But I don't know if there was a point that you kind of had the confidence to think, okay, this works, or whether it's always like any business, maybe a little bit of an unknown as you go on forward.
I never had a sense of, this maybe is what I'll do for the rest of my life.
Right.
But it has been so far. Do you know what I mean? And I've loved it. I've loved
that's
it.
Key to, I think. And I think that comes across in any line of work, whether you work in Greystones Dart Station and you hate it, that comes across. If you work
and
in
it's
a shop
been allowed me to get a
across.
nice balance as well. Then between, to be fair, between home and and here too, which is nice. And I get to work here in Greystones. This is amazing. How many people can say they can? You know what I mean?
True.
It is amazing.
Yeah. No, we're kind
Like
of.
we're only down the road from the bank, and it might take me half an hour to get to the bank chatting to people. I love that.
Yeah. No, I do think that my daughter. I just had a lunch with my daughter, and she just said that she's living in Dublin now. And the one thing she's noticed is that when she takes a walk through here, people just say hello. And just that sense of you are genuinely connected to each other. And you may not necessarily know everybody, but there is a connection. There is a feeling that. If somebody fell, more than two people would help to get them back up. So
and everybody's so proud of Greystonians are so proud of their town as well. And sure, Christmas time, I love, because I am a dub, I suppose, at heart, to go up at Christmas time, see the lights, walk down Grafton Street, and he's now 10, and I drag him up now as well. And he said to me, Mum, everybody is sad in Dublin. I was like, what? No, they're not. Everybody's sad people. He goes, they are sad. Nobody smiles. And then the next day we were here doing shopping here, and he goes, Mum, this is better. Everybody smiles in Greystones.
Well, at least half of them are drunk, though. There is that.
That helps, does it? The sea air. Yeah. So
when you mix the sea air, especially I've seen people out in their pajamas walking around. They seem very happy. I suppose we have I was going to say we have kind of covered it, but I don't suppose there is advice like for young upstarts like the Happy Pear and others who are sort of thinking, well, this is going to be forever on some level. Is there such a thing as advice for people who really want to for that long kind of?
I think if you really love what you do, if you're passionate about what you do, then you'll find a way to make it happen. Definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
I say that to the Happy Pear guys. I don't think they really believe.
They're just winging it. No, they're inspirational and aspirational, and I think what they've achieved up there.
Well, rock and roll, as I said, 21 years is incredible, and it seems as healthy as ever. And if anything, shops like this get stronger because you know exactly what you're doing and you have a real feel for.
I wouldn't say we know exactly what we're doing.
Well, close. You're getting closer and closer. The thing is, get closer every year, hopefully, or every time. But, but nicely done. And if you could give me advice on the Greystones guide has the last 21 years, I'll be happy then as well.
I think you're doing an amazing job. You will definitely be doing that in 20 years.
That's the right answer.